What if a Soviet spacecraft launched in 1972 suddenly re-entered Earth's atmosphere this week? It's not fiction, it's happening, right now. A 50-year-old space probe named Kosmos 482, a relic of the Cold War and the space race, is on a collision course with our planet. After spending decades silently orbiting Earth, it's finally falling back, and scientists say part of it might survive. Let's find out why, and what could happen next. In 1972, the Soviet Union launched Kosmos 482, a sister probe to Venera 8, which successfully landed on Venus. But Kosmos 482 never made it. Due to a rocket malfunction, it failed to escape Earth's orbit and got stuck circling our planet at high speed. For over 50 years it's remained up there, an orbiting piece of Cold War history, slowly losing altitude. Now, gravity is finally pulling it back. But why did it take so long? Let's explore. Kosmos 482's orbit was elliptical, meaning it stretched far from Earth before returning closer. It was high enough to avoid rapid drag, but low enough to still experience friction from the upper atmosphere. Over decades, tiny bits of resistance added up. Solar activity, changes in the thermosphere, and gravitational anomalies gradually pulled it lower, until now, when re-entry is imminent. Kosmos 482 has been slowly spiraling downward for decades, dragged by atmospheric friction, but recent tracking shows it's accelerating. Scientists believe it will re-enter Earth's atmosphere sometime around May 9th to 10th, 2025. The exact timing depends on atmospheric conditions and solar activity which affect drag, but make no mistake, it's coming down. The timing is significant because Earth is currently experiencing higher solar activity as part of the 11-year solar cycle. This increases atmospheric density at higher altitudes, causing more drag on satellites like Kosmos 482. And there's something unusual about this spacecraft. Kosmos 482 wasn't just any satellite, it was designed to land on Venus, a planet with temperatures over 460 degrees Celsius and pressure 90 times greater than Earth's. That means parts of the lander are built to withstand insane amounts of heat and pressure, far more than a typical satellite. In fact, similar probes like Venera 7 and Venera 8 survived Venusian conditions for over 20 minutes. That's no small feat, so while most space debris burns up harmlessly in our atmosphere, Kosmos 482 might not. Experts say some of it could survive re-entry and crash intact, like a half-ton metal ball falling from the sky. Imagine a hardened pressure vessel built to survive Venus now aimed at Earth. The spacecraft is likely to burn up partially during re-entry, creating a bright fireball in the sky, but if parts of it survive, they could impact the ground, potentially in a populated area. The risk is small, but not zero. Fortunately, Earth's surface is mostly ocean or empty land. Still, governments and satellite trackers are watching its trajectory closely. What happens if it lands in a city, or in a remote area? How do authorities respond? Past cases like China's Long March rocket re-entries have raised similar questions. Typically, warnings are issued only hours before expected re-entry. This isn't the first time space junk has fallen back to Earth, but the durability of this probe makes it special. The original Kosmos 482 mission carried scientific instruments, not explosives or hazardous materials, but its mass and speed alone could make it dangerous on impact. Imagine a car-sized object hitting Earth at hundreds of kilometers per hour. That's a lot of energy. There are also concerns about whether any radioactive material was on board. While unlikely, some early Soviet spacecraft did carry small nuclear batteries. Experts believe the re-entry risk is relatively low. Still, space agencies are monitoring it closely. Emergency protocols are in place in case debris is found on the ground. People are urged not to touch anything unfamiliar if fragments do land. Kosmos 482 wasn't just a scientific mission, it was a Cold War endeavor. The Soviet Union and the United States were in a fierce race to explore space, especially Venus. The Soviets led the way with the Venera program, launching multiple probes to Venus. Kosmos 482 was part of this legacy. Its failed launch was kept quiet at the time. It was labeled simply Kosmos to conceal its real mission. That was common practice, turning failed interplanetary missions into Earth-orbiting Kosmos satellites. This piece of space junk is also a piece of geopolitical history. Kosmos 482 isn't the first spacecraft to fall back to Earth. In 1979, NASA's Skylab made an uncontrolled re-entry, scattering debris over Western Australia. In 2021 and 2022, Chinese rocket boosters caused global concern when they re-entered unpredictably. In most cases, no injuries occurred, but the risks are real. Pieces of space debris have landed in backyards, fields, and even grazed homes. The difference with Kosmos 482 is its construction. Venus probes were built to endure, not break apart. There are over 30,000 tracked pieces of debris in low Earth orbit. Many more are too small to detect. Agencies like NORAD and ESA maintain real-time tracking systems, but accuracy decreases as re-entry nears. We know Kosmos 482 is falling, but predicting exactly when and where is incredibly difficult. Tracking systems must estimate how solar winds and atmospheric density will shift. Even a tiny change in trajectory can move the impact zone by hundreds of kilometers. Kosmos 482 reminds us that every object we launch into orbit eventually comes down. Whether it's days or decades later, Earth's gravity always wins. It's a warning about sustainability in space. The more satellites we launch, the more careful we must be about deorbiting them safely. New technologies like space tugs, re-entry sails, and active debris removal systems are being developed. But for now, the sky remains a junkyard. And sometimes, that junk falls. So, what if a 50-year-old Soviet spacecraft crashes back to Earth? We're about to find out. Will it burn up entirely? Will fragments survive? And will anyone witness the fireball streak across the sky? From Cold War space history to today's orbital risks, Kosmos 482 is more than just a falling object, it's a symbol of space exploration's legacy. If you found this story fascinating, like, comment, and subscribe to BrainSpark for more real-world science that feels like science fiction, because sometimes, it is.